What's up, my sewing friends? Are you ready for a tutorial? Because I'm doing my first one. Y'all asked for it, a mini diaper bag tutorial. So here it is. It might have to go into a couple videos because I made it a little bit longer. So this will probably be part one. So stick around and let's get into it, okay? So go ahead and pause the video and take a screenshot of what you need. And this is quilter spray. If you want to use it, it's optional. I definitely recommend using it on the gusset because the gusset's much smaller and it'll tend to move around on you. You don't need that much. It's not like hairspray, just little spritz, just to keep it in place. So we're going to let our gusset dry and our main piece dry with that glue. And then we're going to quilt them. If you don't know what quilting is, it's just a decorative stitching that you do on top. There's many very different variations of doing that. Sorry, I'm still drinking my coffee this morning. You can do horizontal, you can do up and down, side to side. It's however you want. I do horizontal at a 45-degree angle every time, and I do at 1.5 inches. So that's what I do. But you can do it however you want. Okay, so you get your ruler, you find your 45 mark or whatever angle you want to use. I use 45, and then I match it up with a 45-degree angle, and then I make my mark with my heat erasing pen. And then to space it out, I do 1.5. You can do whatever you want. You can do 1 inch, 2 inch, 2.5, whatever you prefer. I prefer the 1.5 inch. And then I make 2 lines on the gusset, and then I just do the whole thing on the gusset just because it's so much easier. And then you just quilt those lines, and you want to change it, your spacing to 3.5 inches for your quilting lines, excuse me. And then you just quilt the whole thing, and I just leave it on my machine the whole time, and then I just quilt it without having to lift up my presser foot the whole time. So that makes it pretty easy. You can just quilt it. And then you just want to cut off the excess. You can use some sharp scissors, a straight edge, and your rotary blade. But I have been using my scissors lately just because my table, I need to get a cutting mat and it's dulling my blade way too much. So I'm just using my scissors for this one. And then don't forget to iron out those lines. And I use the tip of my iron just because the polyester tends to melt in it, and I don't want to use the flat part on the whole thing. I can tell the difference, and then it kind of gives it some nice texture throughout the whole piece. So don't forget to do that. So now we're gonna work on the D-ring piece. Pretty simple, you just fold it in half either way because it's a perfect square, and then iron it and fold it in with itself. Do the same thing with the strap, but on the edge you want to make sure you fold that in so that way you have a nice squared edge on the end where you put your slip in for your hardware there, and then yeah, you put it in the nice edge so you don't have a fraying edge. Pretty simple, right? And then you sew it on. You can just make a line if you want to sew it on, but I'm gonna make an X. That way it has a lot more durability, and you're gonna have a lot of wear and tear you know, with it clasping onto things. So just make an X there. That's what I did. And then for the D-ring, you don't have to make an X just because it's smaller. I just double up my lines and sew it right across. It should look like that.